BikeRadar, we believe two things about road aero helmets. One, they can make you a little bit faster. And two, they can make you look a little bit silly.
So today we're here in Scottsdale, Arizona at the wind tunnel at Faster with 9 of the top models to find out which one of them really is, well, faster.
Then we're going to go out to the streets to determine which one looks the best, which looks the silliest, using a very rigorous scientific protocol that consists of asking strangers their random opinions.
You don't want to be wearing these into a coffee shop or just around normal folks. They're going to think you need help.
And after we're all done, we'll take the data from here, we'll take the feedback that we've collected, along with some of our ride data, and then we'll find out which one is the best for you.
For our testing, we are measuring at 4 angles, from dead on to 15 degrees, and recording the average. And when I say we, I mean Aaron Ross here, Faster's wind tunnel technician. While many helmet companies will test at 30 miles an hour, we're testing at 20 miles an hour, or about 32 kilometers per hour. Reason being, most of us don't ride at 30 miles an hour. We called up a friend at Strava to put a specific number on our average speeds. He said men ride on average 15.6 miles an hour, and women are at 13.4 miles an hour. That's about 25 and 21 kilometers per hour, respectively. These numbers are based on all rides uploaded to Strava. The helmets we're testing are the POC Octal Aero, the Specialized S-Works Evade, the KASK Protone, the Giro Synthe, the Ballista Pro, the Giant Rivet, Bontrager's new Ballista, Louis Garneau's Course, and the Aero helmet that started it all, the Giro Air Attack. We're measuring each of these 9 helmets at 0, 5, 10, and 15 degrees of yaw for 20 seconds each, and taking the average for a total score. Now we have the drag numbers and the comparative rankings for each of these on BikeRadar.com, so you can check those out in detail. But keep in mind, the study of aerodynamics is dynamic. For instance, if we took these helmets and put them at a slightly different head angle, we'd get totally different data and different rankings. Also, we found out as we were testing at different speeds, the rankings of the helmets would change. Some helmets that are relatively slow at 20 miles an hour are much faster at 30 miles an hour compared to the other helmets, and vice versa. One lesson Ross says he's learned in the tunnel is that the old maxim about assuming things applies here too. When you assume things about how something will perform based on how it looks, you're sure to make an ass out of you and me. Now we tried not to assume things about the ventilation of these helmets based on how they looked. We spent a good amount of time riding in each of these to get a feel for how well they move air at high and low speeds. When riding quickly on the flats, or especially when coasting downhill, most of the helmets are at least okay at moving air across the head. There are some surprises. Giant Rivet and even the POC Octal Aero are surprisingly cool at speed, with effective channeling moving air across the top of the head. Okay, so maybe we were making some assumptions here. The Bontrager Ballista, the KASK Protone, and the Garneau's Course are also really good at speed. There are some stinkers though. The Ballista Pro feels like a solid plastic hat with virtually no airflow, and the Air Attack isn't great either. At low speed, such as when climbing, the priority of Aero over airflow becomes apparent in many of the helmets. The Evade, the Rivet, and the Octal Aero are all pretty hot when climbing, but the Bell is the worst. On the other end of the spectrum, the Giro Synthe is pretty close to a standard helmet in terms of ventilation. So now that we have wind tunnel data recorded and ventilation testing complete, let's go ask some roadies what they think about how these things actually look. POC Octal Aero, what do you think of this helmet?
It looks hot and beefy. It looks really safe though.
Is it something you'd wear on a group ride?
Yeah, I'd give it a go.
I'd like to ride this blue and white one. I don't think I'm good enough to ride a helmet that looks like that.
The Giant one looks pretty cool. POC looks cool, nice and round. But I think the Giro, when you get the face shield, so you look like a, I don't know, stormtrooper or something, looks pretty awesome.
Ballista Pro, Giro Air Attack, which would you put on your head?
Bell.
Why is that?
Looks better, looks cooler, smoother.
Some of the things here are a little probably too aggressive for me, a little too stormtrooperish for me, maybe a little too RoboCop for me. So I'm definitely going to lean more towards the vented helmets, I think.
Ben, I mean, for you, what do you look for in an Aero road helmet?
Well, I'm starting to look at helmets sort of the way I look at wheels now. There's not necessarily one size fits all. There can be. If I was to choose one helmet, it would be something that is comfortable, you know, when the shoe fits, wear it type of thing, and has a lot of ventilation. So when racing, or even when doing spirited group rides, and I'm hanging on for dear life, hating the person in front of me, I want every little bit of advantage I can get. So then I would choose something like the S-Works or the Bontrager Ballista. For racing, for fast group rides, Aero helmet all the way. So averaging in all the things we've looked at, the aerodynamics at 20 miles an hour, the low speed ventilation, the high speed ventilation, how comfortable the things are, how funny they looked to our peers, which came out the winner and why?
Well, if I had to pick just one, I would have to go with the new Bontrager Ballista here. The wind tunnel testing shows that it is second only to the Bell in terms of the speed.
At 20 miles an hour.
At 20 miles an hour. But our on-road evaluation also showed that it's surprisingly good in terms of ventilation, both at high and low speed.
And when we jumped up to test this helmet at 30 miles an hour, this came out faster than the Bell, which was fastest at 20 miles an hour.
It did, so I think that just proves to us in general that this is a fast helmet, period. What's also nice about it is it's also one of the most reasonably priced helmets that we have on test. And it actually doesn't look too bad either. So I'd say this is our winner.